In this video, I am going to discuss about the for loop in Python programming language. Before starting with the for loop, let me tell you what is a loop. Almost all programming languages has the concept of loop. It helps in executing one or more statement up to a desired number of times. Look at the diagram first. Let's start our code over here. Then initialize some variable. Then a relational statement is written with the help of this variable. So the statement written over here will return either true or false. If it is true, then it will execute this statement. This statement may contain a single line or a group of lines. After that, it will move to the increment-decrement step. That means the variable will be either decremented or incremented. Then the control will again move back to this condition. If this condition again returns true, then it will move to this statement. So this statement will again executed. Again move to the increment-decrement part, again move to the condition. When this condition return false, it will move to the end. That means loop allow a set of instructions to be performed repeatedly until a certain condition is fulfilled. So here this statement is the loop body. A loop has an initialization, a condition part, and then a body part. The body part may contain this increment-decrement part also. Each time when the loop body is executed is called an iteration. The iteration statement are also called loops or looping statement. Since here we are dealing with the loop of Python, so we will see what are the different types of loops are present within Python programming language. So in the Python programming language, there are two types of loop in Python, that is the for loop and the while loop. In this video, we will learn about the for loop only. Now let's come to the for loop. For loop in Python. For loop is used to iterate over a sequence or other iterable objects. Syntax for loop. Look at the syntax. For I in sequence and there is a body. Look at the syntax carefully. For is the keyword, I is the variable, in is the membership operator, and there is a sequence. In Python, a sequence may be a list, tuple, string, etc. And after maintaining an indentation or a tab, if I write some lines over here, that means these lines are considered to be under the for loop. Now look how this works. So this I variable will extract each and every element from this sequence one by one and then move to the body. That means I will be initialized with the first element of the sequence, then the control will move to this body. This body will execute. After executing, again the control will move back to the for line. So the flow of control will be look like this. Look at the red arrow. So it will move downward first, then the control will again move back to the for line. Now in the second iteration, I will extract the second element of the sequence and again it will execute the same set of lines. So this set of lines will keep on executing as long as I is extracting element from the sequence. There is an interesting thing in for loop of Python that you do not have to increment or decrement the value of I. It will automatically extract elements one by one from the sequence. So as long as the sequence has element, this for loop will continue its iteration and execute these lines repeatedly. Let me again tell you that a sequence is a list or a tuple or a string, etc. You can also use a range function in place of sequence because range function returns a sequence. If you don't have any idea of this list, tuple, string, just go and visit my previous videos. For the range function, go to the description box. You will get a link of a video where the range function has been explained. Let me show you some example. First of all, let me create a file. We go to file, new file. Let's start our first for loop program. Let me write down for I in, say I'm writing a sequence. So this is a list 10, 20, 30, 40. Now after that, there will be a colon. Under this for loop, we are going to write the body of this for loop. This indentation or the tab is automatically maintained by the editor. Now I am writing print I. So what will happen, I will extract the first element from this sequence or from this list, that is 10 will be initialized within I, and then it will enter into the loop. It will print the value of I, that is 10. Again the control will move to the for line, then the I will point to the next value, that is 20. Again it will enter the loop, it will print 20. And in this way I will extract each and every element from the sequence and print this number one by one and in a separate line. So let me first save this file. Let me write a file name for demo, save, enter. Now press F5 to run the file. Look, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So this variable I is initialized with 10 first, then it prints the value of I, that is 10. Then it will extract 20, it will print 20, then it will points to 30, then it will print 30, then it will point to 40, then it will print 40. After that there are no more elements within the list, so it stops the for loop. So in case of for loop of Python, you do not have to increment the value of I with any operator. The increment or the decrement is done implicitly. The variable I points to the position of the list one by one, and you do not have to specify the position. We can write any sequence over here. So if I replace this list with a tuple elements are enclosed within first bracket, open and close. Let me save the file again, print the file. It will give me the same result, 10, 20, 30, 40. Now if I write a string, say I'm writing ABCD, look what happened. Save, then run. Look at the output. It will extract one character at a time from the string and display the character in separate lines. We can also assign this string within some variable, and if you write the variable name, the same thing will happen, nothing different. So we can initialize list, tuple, string, anything within a variable and just write down the variable after this in. In is a membership operator. So what it is doing, that means I is finding element in S. That is why the syntax look like this, for I in S, then the body of the loop. There may be a more than one line also. This will vary according to the problem given to you. Now if I write a dictionary, say D equal to, suppose I am writing, since dictionary is written within curly braces and it has a key value pair, suppose the key is say R. Let me write down the value, that is red. So R is the key and red is the value. Then say G, then green, then B, where R, G, B are the keys and red, green, blue are the values. Since all these are the character or a string, they are enclosed within a single quote. Now if I write say D over here, then what will be the output? Look, let me run the program. Look, it will print only the key only. So when we write dictionary name after in case of for loop statement, it will return the keys only. Now if I write d.keys, I think you know that this function returns the list of keys. Now if I print this, it will return the same thing, RGB. Now if you want to see the values, for that you have to write values, d.values. So d.values means it will return all the values within the dictionary. Now if I print it, it will just return the values only. Let me show you another variation of iterating through a dictionary. Suppose I am writing d.items over here. So this item functions returns the key value pair as a tuple. That's mean R and red will be converted to a tuple and that will be assigned to I variable, and when we print I, it will return the first key value pair, that is R, red. In the next iteration, it will extract the G, green as a tuple element. And at the third iteration, it will return the next tuple which contains B and blue. So look at the output. Look, it will return pair of tuples. So each tuple contains the key value pair of the dictionary. So this items function actually yields tuple objects. As we have already know about the unpacking of tuple, you can use tuple unpacking to iterate through the keys and values of the dictionary you are working with. To achieve this, you just need to unpack the elements of every item into two different variables representing the key and the value. Let me show you an example for that. So in place of I, let me write down k comma v. K represent key and v represent the value. When we are writing d.items, it will return all the key value pair in the form of tuple. So that tuple will be unpacked within this k and v variable. The corresponding keys will be assigned to k and the corresponding values will be assigned to v. Now if I write k comma, within quotes, suppose I'm writing an arrow, then v. Let me save the file. Look how the output comes. So in the first iteration, k is initialized with the first key, that is r. So when we are printing k, it will print r. And after this arrow, I use this v variable, and v is assigned with the value of the first key value pair. So here the value is red, so red is assigned to v. So when I print v, it will return red. So in the same way, G green, B blue has been printed. Let me show you another variation. Suppose I am deleting these items. Let me write down just only I, or say simply k. Now if I print only k, I've already shown you just now, it will return the keys only. Now if I write d within third bracket k, in this case it will print the corresponding value of this key. So this is the dictionary name, and within third bracket there will be the key name. So the first key is the r. So here k is first initialized with r, that is the capital R, the key of the first pair. Now when I am printing d within third bracket k, that means it will print the d of r. D of r means red. It will print the value of the corresponding key. In the next iteration, k will initialized with g, so it will print d of g, that is green, then d of b, that is blue. Now if I print this one, it will print red, green, blue in this manner. Now apart from this list, dictionary, tuple, string, you can also use the range function in place of these sequences. Let me delete this dictionary first. Let me convert this k to I. You can give any variable name over here. Now for I in, say I'm writing range, within bracket say 10, and within the print statement let me write down I. So in this case I will extract each and every element from the range 10, and that will be printed in this line. Before executing this program, if you forgot about the range statement or you don't know about the range statement, to show you a small demonstration. Suppose I'm writing L equal to the list constructor, and within this I'm writing range, within brackets I'm writing 10. Now press enter. If I print this L, look what happened. Range 10 returns 0 to 9. That's mean range 10 generates a sequence starting from 0. If you do not specify anything, it will always start from 0, and it will stop before the value you mentioned. Here I have mentioned 10, that's mean it will stop before 10, that is up to 9. Again, if I write say 5 comma 10, if I write the starting position, so the range will generate a sequence starting from 5 and it will stop before 10, that is up to 9. Let me print this list. It will print 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I have to print the same thing in the reverse order, so it will be from 10 comma 5, and for that I have to write -1. So this is a step size of -1. So after 10 it will move to -1, 10 -1, that is 9. Then it will move to 9 -1, that is to 8. And the sequence will stop just before 5, that is up to 6. Look what happened. This range function generates the following sequence starting from 10, then it has decremented by 1, that's mean 9, then 8, then 7, then 6. It will not go up to 5, it will stop before 5, that is up to 6. Again, move back to the for loop. When I'm writing for I in range 10, that's mean range 10 will generate a sequence starting from 0 and it will generate up to 9. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 will be written by the range 10. And I will be initialized with each and every element of this range function, and it will print the value of I in the separate line. Look at the output. Let me save it first. So it will generate this sequence 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if I have to print all even numbers from 2 to 20, so what I have to do for I in range, that's mean it will start from 2 and it will move up to 20. Since in case of range function, the sequence generation stops before the upper limit. So for that, I have to write a number bigger than 20. Let me write down 21. And since the problem is given like this, I have to print all the even numbers. That means there will be a step jump of 2. After 2, the next even number is 4. That is 2 plus 2, 4. Again 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. And so on. So there is a step jump of 2 in each and every element of the even numbers. That's why within the range function, the step size will be 2. So in this case, I will be initialized with 2. So this 2 will be printed in the next line. Again, when the control goes upward, I will be initialized with 4 because 2 plus 2, 4. Then again, it will move to the print statement, it will print 4. Then it will print 6, then 8, then 10, then 12, and so on. And it will stop up to 20. Let me save it and run the program. Look, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 are written by this code. Next, let me show you an infinite loop. Infinite loop means that never ends. An infinite loop is a looping construct that does not terminate the loop and execute the loop forever. It is also called an indefinite loop or an endless loop. It either produces a continuous output or no output at all. Let me show you an example for that. Suppose I am writing 1, 5, then minus 1. After 1, it will move to 0 because I have written a step size of minus 1. So after 1, it will move to, the control will move to 0. That's when range function will generate a sequence which will start from 1. Then the next element of the sequence will be 0, then minus 1, then minus 2, then minus 3, then minus 4, then minus 5. That's mean it will never reach to plus 5 or the simplified. So this will lead to an infinite loop or will generate no output at all. In this case, Python will give you no output. Look, let me run the program. Look, nothing is there. We cannot generate a sequence from a lower value to higher value where the step size is negative. So negative step size will be applicable when the range started from bigger value and moved towards a lower value. You cannot generate directly an infinite loop with the help of for loop in Python. We require iter tools or some other technique to generate an infinite loop using the for loop. So that will not be covered in this video. That will be discussed in separate videos. So this is all for this video. Thank you.